5:45 hours, Strait of Hormuz. The pre-dawn sea mirrors the stars, flat, unbroken, silent under the watch of USS Abraham Lincoln's carrier strike group. Then radar scopes ignite with 60 fast-moving contacts, Iranian boats swarming from the shadows. Sensors aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln detect the anomaly first. Multiple radar returns flood the Combat Information Center. 60 Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy vessels, identified as Bog Hammer-class fast attack boats, closing at 40 knots from 25 nautical miles. The threat escalates rapidly. Each boat carries anti-ship missiles and heavy machine guns. The tactical action officer declares hostile intent. Alarms blare across the deck. The carrier's air wing scrambles. F-18 Super Hornets arm with a GM-84. Harpoon missiles. Destroyers in the group USS Arleigh Burke and USS Spruance activate Aegis systems. Command relays the alert to CENTCOM. Potential mass swarm attack on U.S. assets. The stakes crystallize. Control of the strait hangs in the balance. Officers issue engagement orders with precision. The battle space awakens. At 5:47 hours, the Iranian boats accelerate into formation. A dispersed wedge, 10 nautical miles out. USS Abraham Lincoln's E-2 Hawkeye airborne early warning aircraft orbits overhead, painting the targets with radar. The first response activates. 2 MH-6 OR Seahawk helicopters lift from the carrier's deck, armed with a GM-114 Hellfire missiles and Mark 54 torpedoes. Pilots lock onto lead boats at 8 nautical miles. Missiles away, 4 Hellfires streak toward the vanguard. Impact in 22 seconds. The lead boat erupts in flames, hull shattered, crew scattered. Secondary explosions ripple through the formation. At 5:49 hours, the swarm presses closer, 7 nautical miles. F-A-18s from the carrier catapult into the sky, forming a strike package. Each jet carries a GM-65 Maverick missiles for precision strikes. The destroyer's SPY-1 radars track incoming threats. Iranian boats launch initial salvos, 12 Silkworm anti-ship. Missiles arc toward the group. Aegis intercepts activate. Standard Missile 2 South fire from vertical launch system, Z8 missiles outbound. Intercepts occur at 5 nautical miles. Detonations vaporize the threats mid-flight. Debris rains into the sea. At 5:51 hours, the engagement envelope tightens, 5 nautical miles. Seahawks hover at standoff range, unleashing Mark 54 torpedoes. 3 torpedoes deploy subsurface, homing on propeller signatures. Impacts register. 2 boats obliterated, hulls split by hydrodynamic force. The swarm fragments slightly. Iranian commanders radio frantic orders boats maneuver erratically to evade. At 5:53 hours, air assets dominate the skies. FD-18s dive into attack runs, Mavericks locking on thermal signatures. Pilots release in pairs. 16 missiles inbound. Boats attempt evasive turns at 45 knots. Hits confirm. 7 vessels struck, fuel tanks igniting in fireballs. The sea boils with wreckage. Destroyers contribute. 5-inch guns train on nearer targets, firing high explosive rounds at 4 nautical miles. Shells impact with precision 3. Boats disabled, listing heavily. At 5:55 hours, the distance closes to 3 nautical miles. Close-in weapon systems energize. Phalanx CIWS on the carrier and destroyers spin up. 20mm Gatling guns ready for terminal defense. Iranian boats unleash a barrage. 20 rockets and machine gun fire pepper the horizon. CIWS engages automatically. Bursts of tungsten rounds shred incoming projectiles. Tracers light the pre-dawn like fireworks. 1 rocket penetrates outer defenses. Glancing off USS Arleigh Burke's superstructure, minimal damage. No casualties. At 5:57 hours, the core swarm reaches 2 nautical miles. Seahawks circle for final passes, dropping sonobuoys to track submerged threats, none detected. Hellfires. Launch again. 6 missiles find marks, vaporizing command vessels. FA-18 strafe with 20mm cannons, raking decks. Bodies tumble into the waves. The Tactical Action Officer coordinates. Prioritize high-threat assets. Destroyers' harpoon missiles add to the fray for outbound, striking at point-blank range. Explosions merge into a continuous roar. At 5:59 hours, the battle space saturates with fire. Iranian boats, now at 1 nautical mile, attempt boarding maneuvers on outlying ships. SEAL Team 6 elements, deployed via rigid-hull inflatable boats from the carrier, intercept. Automatic weapons chatter. M4 carbines and Mk-48 machine guns suppress approaches. Grenades arc into enemy hulls. Close quarters chaos ensues. Boats ram, but U.S. forces hold the line. Phalanx systems obliterate 2 ramming vessels, hulls perforated. Sinking in seconds, the climax builds at 6 o'clock hours. The sky erupts. Simultaneous detonations from 18 intercepts. Boats shatter under combined fire. Mavericks from above, torpedoes below, guns broadside. 12 impacts in rapid succession. Hulls crumple like tin. Fuel slicks ignite, flames leap. 50 feet. Sensory overload grips the scene. Acrid smoke chokes the air. Waves crash over debris fields. Iranian salvos falter. Machine guns rake the water, but accuracy diminishes. FA-18s execute bomb runs with JDAMs. Precision-guided munitions level clusters of boats. 8 vessels vanish in geysers of water and steel. Casualty tallies mount. 22 boats confirmed destroyed. 15 disabled and drifting. U.S. assets report 0. Hull breaches. The swarm's momentum breaks. Survivors veer away. Engines screaming in retreat. Explosions cascade. At 6:02 hours, a chain reaction. Ammunition cooks off on sinking hulls. Fireballs bloom like suns. Debris scatters across 2 square nautical miles. Seahawks hover, picking off stragglers with Hellfire's 4 more hits, boats capsizing. Destroyers cease fire on primaries, shifting to suppression. The air thickens. With cordite, waves heave with bodies and wreckage. Intercepts continue. Phalanx downs final rockets at 500 yards. Silence punctuates the din. Brief lulls between blasts. Total elapsed. 7 minutes of peak violence. Iranian losses. 45 boats neutralized. U.S. strike group intact. Minimal ordnance expended. At 6:03 hours, the frenzy peaks. Last-ditch charges from remnants. 5 boats surge forward. CIWs engages streams of fire, obliterate them mid-charge. Hulls disintegrate. The sea turns black with oil. Final tallies stream into command. 52 boats destroyed, 8 fleeing damaged. Time from initial fire, 9 minutes. The horizon glows with burning remnants. Everything darkens as fires gutter out smoke, eclipses the rising sun. 11 minutes. After initial contact, silence descends. Damage assessment commences aboard USS Abraham Lincoln. Radar sweeps confirm. No active threats remain. Casualty figures solidify. Iranian losses estimated at 300 personnel. 60 boats reduced to 52 sunk. 8 captured or adrift. U.S. side reports 0 fatalities. Minor shrapnel injuries to 3 sailors on USS Arleigh Burke treated on site. Rescue operations launch. MH-60R helicopters deploy for survivor recovery, prioritizing humanitarian protocols. Rigid hull inflatables from SEAL Team 6 secure floating wreckage, gathering intelligence artifacts, missile fragments, communication. Logs. The carrier group reforms formation, steaming at 15 knots through cleared waters. Fires on the sea extinguish one by one, leaving oily slicks and debris trails. CENTCOM relays congratulations. Mission accomplished with overwhelming superiority. The strait reverts to operational normalcy. Patrols intensified. The tactical lessons were immediate and profound. Iranian swarm tactics, reliant on numerical superiority and saturation attacks, proved vulnerable to layered U.S. defenses. Air superiority neutralized threats at standoff ranges, while close-in systems handled breakthroughs. Engagement envelopes extending. From 25 nautical miles for airstrikes to 500 yards for CIWS demonstrated doctrinal efficacy. The use of integrated platforms, from E-2 Hawkeyes for battlespace awareness to Phalanx for terminal protection, underscored the value of network-centric warfare. Doctrinal adjustments followed, enhanced drone countermeasures, as Iranian UAVs could augment future swarms, though absent here. The 11-minute resolution highlighted response times. From detection to dominance, U.S. forces compressed the kill chain through superior sensors and fire control. Strategic ramifications cascaded across the region. Tehran issued denials, framing the incident as defensive maneuvers gone awry, but internal shocks rippled through the Revolutionary Guard command structures re-evaluated amid heavy losses. Regional allies, including Saudi Arabia and Israel, bolstered patrols, citing the engagement as proof of Iranian aggression. Oil markets fluctuated. Brent crude spiked 8% on strait closure fears, stabilizing only after U.S. affirmations of open navigation. Geopolitically, the incident reshaped deterrence postures. Washington signaled unwavering commitment to freedom of navigation, prompting back-channel diplomacy to de-escalate. This engagement fundamentally altered power dynamics in the Persian Gulf, reinforcing U.S. technological edges against asymmetric threats. Analysts noted parallels to historical naval clashes, like the 1988 Operation Praying Mantis, where similar tactics yielded decisive outcomes. Future conflicts may pivot toward hybrid warfare, blending boats with missiles and cyber elements, but the core lesson endures. Mass alone cannot overcome precision. In 11 minutes, 60 Iranian boats challenged U.S. naval supremacy and vanished into darkness. The strait remains open not through negotiation, but through demonstrated capability.